I'm kicking this off today with an exclusive interview that nobody, and I mean nobody else on YouTube will get. Oh yeah, some people will have interviews with the pre-jurors, whoop-de-doo, talking to those terrible people. Some people have interviews with the jurors, whatever. You know, news broke today that Alyssa broke up with Kyle after his racist backlash. And today, I have an exclusive interview with someone that will be very happy about that news. I have an exclusive interview with the Have Not Room Pool Floaty. Have Not Pool Floaty, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. You know, how has it been for you? You know, as viewers, we have hated this cast. How have you felt about the cast this season?
Oh, this season has been so rough. Like, Jasmine and Turner, when they were have-nots, they did not shower at all. And then they lay on me, and I have to smell them all night. Disgusting. Disgusting.
Now let's talk about the important topic we're here to talk about today. How did you feel when, Kyle and Alyssa had sex on top of you?
This was an atrocity because these two also stink. That night, it was so musty in that room. And when they had sex for 10 whole seconds, I wanted to puke. Thankfully, it only lasted 10 seconds, but they still laid there after. Putrid. Putrid.
Do you know that they broke up? And if so, how do you feel about it?
I've never been happier to hear that those two have broken up. I don't know why, because nobody in this house talks to me enough. But hearing that those two broke up is music to my nostrils. I will need therapy after this season, like a lot of the house guests. But knowing Kyle and Alyssa won't fuck on me again has me feeling thankful.
Well, I'm so glad that you found a positive. Thank you for joining me today. As for the live feeds, some of the Black House guests are saying that Michael and Brittany timed this out pretty suspiciously, almost like they were going along with Kyle's little race war plans until it was convenient for them to get this information out. Wow, how about that? Maybe if people won't listen to me talk about how Michael and Brittany have some blame in the racism, maybe they'll listen to some of the Black House guests. Now, production, of course, turned off the feeds a lot during all of these conversations. We missed the house meeting where apparently Terrence got pretty upset with Michael and Brittany, kind of including them in Kyle's little race war because of the timing of them talking about this. Monty had agreed, and we got to hear today on the feeds Monty and Turner talking about Brittany and Michael's convenient time for laying this out there. So I do think this can hurt their chances of winning if they make the end, unless they're of course against each other at the end, which is almost inevitable at this rate if nobody could stop Michael from winning challenges. Now, Michael used the veto to take down Brittany as expected. Monty and Turner also calling them out on the performative actions of the week to talk about the racism going on in the house. And then Michael doesn't take down Taylor. Now, obviously, Michael was always going to take down Brittany, so I don't know if you could blame him for that. However, for all the people who still try and act like this is just great gameplay this season, since Michael and Brittany went this way and went this far to bring back Kyle's racism into the game, if Michael was actually a great player, like people seem to think he could be, using the veto on Taylor after you made Kyle this huge target this week who's likely going home would have actually built you some connection with Taylor going forward. But as we all know, Michael and Brittany's social games non-existent. So it should not be surprising that Michael used the veto on Brittany because that's his duo. So obviously his duo that people should put them on the block together if they were actually good at this game. But if he had a social game, he would have seen that using the veto on Taylor this week makes sense, and he probably could have convinced Brittany of it, although who knows how Brittany would have taken that because she's such a spiraler. And who knows if this will actually wake Taylor up that going to the end with this duo as a trio, Michael is the odds-on favorite to win the final HOH. And he will take Brittany to the end, not you, Taylor. So maybe that will wake her up that going to the end with those two makes no sense for her because she would have to beat Michael in the end. And the last competition is usually a memory comp. I just don't see Michael losing that competition. Taylor doesn't study that much either. Like, I don't think she has taken her studying seriously, something Michael and Brittany do. And they would take each other to the end. I do, however, think at this point in time, Taylor's social game has gotten so good that it's, is it really this fantastic social game? I've seen better, obviously. But from where Taylor started in this game, at the very bottom of everything, to being able to get to the jury phase and have the best jury management, it speaks for how poor the social game is in this cast. Like I've been saying all along, I truly believe, as a whole, this cast has the worst social game of all time. As a whole, I've never seen a cast have this bad of a social game. So many of the cast members have this bad of a social game. But Taylor's done little things like leave dresses in the suitcases of Indy and Jasmine. She fixed her relationship with Indy very hardcore and kind of with Jasmine as well. And Joseph is in the jury who can be persuasive that I truly believe if Taylor makes the end at this point, she can beat anybody. She can beat anybody in a jury vote. She will have the hardest time against Michael and Monty because I can definitely see them get votes because of their games. Although Michael could have hurt his jury game with this whole bringing the race thing up at such a convenient time for him. I do think that could hurt him with the jury vote. I really do. But even though I think Taylor will have the hardest time against Monty and Michael in the end, I still think she can beat them. It's not impossible. It will be closer against those two. As for everybody else, I think she has a hell of a chance beating them. And as we all know, no matter what, Taylor's the winner of this season. I think she will be coming out of this season the most popular Big Brother player in a very long time. Probably since Janelle and Kaser, honestly. I think since that long have we had a house guest as popular as those two. She won a reality TV award already as the most popular reality TV star of the year. She has Lay's tweeting about her. She has Skippy Peanut Butter tweeting about her. She could get in endorsement deals, and she damn well better be the only cast member on The Bold and the Beautiful this year. You know, they like to put somebody from the cast on The Bold and the Beautiful. Last year should have been Azza because she can actually act, but instead it was Xavier who just cannot act. So it needs to be Taylor, especially since the rest of this cast is problematic as it is. So yeah, Taylor better be booked on The Bold and the Beautiful. I better be talking about The Bold and the Beautiful in a few months and be able to talk about Taylor appearing on it. Because I talk soaps on this channel too. Now, a lot of the discussion with the whole race thing has seemed to become, like, who's more racist between Kyle and Michael? And look, I think I like the fact that Michael and Brittany brought this topic up in the house so we can actually see somebody have consequences for his actions. We don't usually see this in the house. We didn't see this with Michi. We didn't really see this with Erin. She didn't get all the shit until she got out of the house. But I also see some people trying to say there's certain Kyle fanboys, whether it's on Reddit or elsewhere, who are trying to say that Michael is the person that went too far, trying to ruin Kyle's life by bringing this up. For those people who are now mad at Michael for bringing race into the game, how can you say that them bringing race into the game is wrong when Kyle is the person that started the season? This is where people lose me. There's no logic. It's either stan culture or you just lack critical thinking skills, and we need to get you back into 4th grade, because I don't know how you could be mad at Michael but not Kyle, who started this in the first place. So Michael and Brittany was a reaction to what Kyle did. Now they are still in the wrong as well, which is why I like to give shit to both of them. And you know, all of this discourse between Kyle and Michael, when we need to start shitting on Brittany more. This white woman and her white tears constantly crying this week, even yesterday, after all the discourse, having to tell the Black House guests what Kyle was planning, and they now know that you went along with it for a couple of weeks at least. Brittany tries and acts like the victim. Brittany had such a hard day. I can't stand this woman. But Taylor does let her get away from it and is too trusting with Brittany's situation. And at this point, Brittany, I think, realizes on a game level she should go to the end with Alyssa if she's going to get a winning vote. I do think she's trying to pivot that direction, although she's also just been trying to get Alyssa's love for weeks now because she was fucking bullied in school. I don't know what Brittany's problem is. Grow up already. You're in your fucking 30s. But on a game level, I think at this point Alyssa is the only person Brittany stands a chance against in the end. So Brittany trying to pivot with Alyssa and Michael and her final 3 makes sense for Brittany's game, but Taylor should try and wake up to that. She gives Michael and Brittany too much of a pass just because they talked to her in the first couple of weeks, and the whole situation just remains gross. You know, Brittany, after all of this discourse and what happens, trying to work with the white people again after throwing Kyle under the bus for doing just that. I feel like Brittany now only wants to trust the white people because she feels like some of the black players are upset with her and Michael because they waited so long to tell them about Kyle's dirty deeds. And they have every right to be upset with them. So, just a mess. This season continues to be a bad mess with bad gameplay. We're at the point where Alyssa has distanced herself from Kyle. Kyle started all of this for Alyssa. Kyle played a messy game for Alyssa and those 10 seconds of puss, only for her to now back away from him after this racist debacle. Which, good for her, but like, also, she was the aggressor in this relationship with Kyle. Let's not forget, she was being very aggressive, borderline creepy, as I talked about earlier at the season when it came to Kyle. And this is another reason why production should take a lot of blame, because production pushed the hell out of Kyle to get into the showmance. Now, would Kyle's true colors have eventually came out? Would his racism have eventually come out? I think it's very likely, but he might have never gotten in the showmance without all the pushing from production. So production, once again, to get their terrible storylines in the episodes, they don't edit these showmances good anyway. They push Kyle into the situation, they make Kyle their golden boy, and now he is one of the worst house guests of all time. He's making international news. And they try and hide all of this, and now Kyle's still making international news. It's why the show makes no sense. You have the live feeds, just edit your episodes to be accurate. It's not fucking rocket science. So now Alyssa's the easiest goat of all time. Everybody should want to go to the end with Alyssa at this point because she hasn't done shit in the game. And now she's distanced herself from Kyle. And if Kyle goes this week as expected, because Turner did renom him, that leaves Alyssa as the easy goat to take to the end. Anyway, I've rambled on and on with my nasally voice today from sickness, but that's all for today.